welcome to Battle of the Sexes. It's your favorite panel. How's everybody doing tonight?
Blessed and highly favored.
Oh my.
Yep.
Okay, so we got Shanita here today. I didn't realize Shanita was here today. Hold on.
Listen, hold on. Listen, see, y'all don't like when I be myself, so I gotta be other people tonight. I gotta be Shanita. I'm gonna be Dr. Bombay tonight. So you'll get a mixture of the two tonight.
We just gonna have a little bit of everybody. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Real Talk 87.
Do
I
you?
really appreciate you. Hey Nita, there she is. Look, you talked her up. Nita,
Nita.
he's been impersonating you, girl. Yeah, he did take your line. Yes, he did. Okay, everyone.
I sure did.
Welcome to the show. Today you see some new faces.
An exciting show.
Are on today. We're really, really excited to have some other faces on here with us. The original panel are on vacations and doing who else knows what. You know, everybody's taking a break.
Except me. I'm still here.
Real Talk and Meek are always here, okay? They here. But anyway, I just want to welcome Black Wall Street, Mr. John. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And then we have Mr. Riley the Great from Millennial Mayhem podcast and YouTube channel. Hey, welcome. I know you drive, you trying to roll the tape.
What up?
Look, focus on the road, get to your location. Okay, so we're gonna get into tonight's topic. Tonight's topic could be seen as to being a little bit of a deep one, controversial one. Oh, Nita says she just might come up. Okay, well, Nita, feel free to join us whenever you want to, girl. So much has been happening with R. Kelly, Brother Polight, Bill Cosby. All of these Black brothers seem to be getting caught up in the law for the wrong thing, okay? And we're going to talk about it. We're going to see whether or not we believe that their childhood may play a part into it, or is this just something that it just happens? This is just who you are as an individual, and this is just something that you choose to live your life this way. We're going to see what the panel think about it, and then obviously, as you guys know, we will drop the link, and you guys can always feel free to join us up here. Everybody coming in, thank you guys so much for joining us. Don't forget, please, can you share out the live if you can? If you want to join the live, then don't forget when I drop the link, you can do so. And also, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Okay. So, Real Talk 87, I'm going to put you on the spot. As soon as you want to be everybody today, I'm going to put you on the spot, and I'm going to make you go first, sir.
Namaste. I'm blessed and highly favored. Shout out to Shanita and, all the panel members who ain't here. E-Black, Dre, everybody, Okay. No, I don't think your childhood can play a part in you being, the type of person you are, that nasty type of person you are, but more than likely, I think that's just an excuse. I mean, if you just nasty and you want to touch on kids and rape I can't use the R word because, you might get flagged, and R other people and stuff, you just nasty. It ain't got nothing to do with your childhood. That's an excuse to me. You understand? So just take your ass to jail, go sit in jail, and think about all the nasty shit you done. All right? That's it.
Okay. Black Wall Street.
Although I share his attitude toward it, because I think it's disgusting, but it does. Childhood and environment plays a role in it, along with other factors, neurological factors. It's a lot. It's not just one thing.
Okay. Neat.
I do think that your childhood definitely shapes the way you are. Where I think the disconnect is that people don't do the work to heal themselves, and they carry into adulthood, and they blame the world, for their problems. And I feel like that's just like a crutch maybe that they use to do things. But yeah, I definitely think all things shape us as children. We learn our personalities from being around our parents when we're young. We learn, when we learn how to talk and walk, how to eat, and things like that. So I definitely think that it shapes you. Yeah, when things happen to you, you're traumatized, there's trauma there. So yeah, I definitely think that it plays a part. I just think that, like I said before, people don't do the work to heal themselves, and then they turn into monsters, you know.
Okay. Riley? He's like,
And I just think some people are just fucked up, bro. Like, childhood traumas are not, some people are just messed up, fam. Like, and it's just something that people, like, it's a mental thing that people just want. Like, I don't think nothing, like, put somebody in a mind frame to want little kids. And, like, I just think that's just something that comes in them because of different individualities and how they operate and how they move. But I don't think it has something to do with your childhood, how you grew up. I think some people just like young people, and it's a sickness. And like my man said, bro, if you got that sickness needs to be in either locked up in jail or in some asylum or some shit. Like, it just is what it is. But nah, I mean, as far as the childhood playing a role now, that's all. Nah. Shouldn't like little boys, fam. I don't care about your childhood, fam. Don't like little boys. Don't like little girls. If you are attracted to a young person's body, there's something genuinely wrong with your ass. Straight up.
Let me ask you this though, Riley. Okay. Do you agree though that these people have these past traumas when it comes out that they raped somebody, right? And you dig into their story, that there's some kind of event that has happened to them in the past. And it's like kind of like consistent between these people. Hush, real, you ain't even talking, but shut up.
This my thing, bro. Like, everybody had traumas in their childhood or some type of things they had to deal with. But nobody, like, everybody ain't going there like, oh, I gotta go mess with little girls now because I done went through this shit when I was a kid. Nah, man. Like, you deal with your shit. Like, everybody deal with their shit. You gotta deal with your shit, get through it, and then move forward and be a functioning adult. But being a functioning adult does not encompass you fucking with little boys. Sorry, I can't. Nah, I can't rock with it, fam. Like, nah.
You know, I didn't want to cut you off. Go ahead. Like, finish what you was gonna say.
Uh-oh, he froze.
Oh, he did. Oh, yeah, he's stopping. You know, I feel that these people need help. You know, I mean, let's look at R. Kelly, for instance. Real, don't give me that look. Let's look at R. Kelly, for instance. You know, R. Kelly was molested when he was a child.
Mm-hmm.
He was.
Hold on, Vee. Let me interrupt you real quick. Some of y'all don't know this, unless like you are just a super fan of me. Like, some of y'all don't know this, but I was too. As a child, I was, and I never had one thought about touching on a little boy or a little girl. So but that's an excuse.
You're strong, though. You're strong. Some people can't fight out their demons. Like Shanita brought up the question and said, on a spiritual level, do you think that it's past spirits that have never seen healing in a past life or something like that? Like, people carry like trauma, demons, just like things, you know, and they harbor it. And everybody's not strong enough to just walk away. It's kind of like cheating or something. Like, everybody's not strong enough to like not indulge in things.
You think so?
I'm sorry, like my heart went out. Okay, go ahead.
You're going in and out.
Frozen. You're in a bad area. Wait. Try again.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
You can't determine that man's level of strength based on the things that he was able to get through. You know what I'm saying? Like some people are just they just understand that some things are just wrong. They're wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not measuring this man's strength based on what he went through when he was a kid, and then he was able not to indulge in that same shit that happened to him. That's just being like smart and realizing like what happened to me was wrong. I'm not gonna do that to anybody else. Like,
That is a rational though. That's a rational, mentally sane person. But if you get a irrational, like person that just can't fathom things that happen to them, how to move on, they don't have coping mechanisms, they don't have plans in place, you know, exit strategies.
Neat. So Neek and V, are y'all saying that every child molester done been through some shit when they were kids to where they were touched on? Is that what y'all saying?
Just monsters.
No.
Some people are just monsters. Yeah, but I do think that your childhood can definitely, like the topic is, do you think that it plays a role? And I do think that what you go through in the past, it shapes how you are. Like me, I don't deal with certain type of men, or I don't have certain type of friends. Like because you go through things, you teach yourself how to treat yourself, right? Like how to grow and develop and become this person, make the life you want to live.
Yeah.
So I think
Let me say this real quick, and then I'm gonna give John the floor. He's been quiet for a minute. Let me say this real quick. I'm sorry that some of these child molesters have done been through some shit they got touched on when they were kids. I'm sorry for that, but I don't give a shit. Like, you should know now. You're a grown motherfucker. Leave little kids alone. Go to jail. Just saying. So I don't feel bad for you one bit.
Look, I'm not saying that their actions were. Thank you, Miss Lecky, for sharing us out. I'm not saying that their actions are correct. I'm not, I'm by far am I putting a stamp that this is okay. I'm not trying to do that. But what I will say is, hearing, for instance, we'll break them down, we'll go through each person, but hearing, for instance, R. Kelly's story and what happened to him from when he was younger to where he is now, I just feel that maybe for him in particular, his childhood could have played a role in how his mental state is, and where maybe in his mind, he's still a child too. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but I'm just saying maybe, just maybe, his mind might be set as in he could be a child, like Michael Jackson, for instance. Michael Jackson, but that was kind of visibly, like, you could see that visibly that he's still mentally a child. I feel that with R. Kelly, maybe he was, like, maybe he's still stuck in his childhood from the trauma that he was caused, and maybe this is his way of coping. I mean, it's a lot.
Come on now, stop. No, you.
It's a whole, I don't even know.
That's too much.
Series on him, but I'm just saying, maybe that did have a play in his mental state and why he started the train, because he was introduced to sex very young. He was introduced to sex pretty young on, so you just don't know. Looking real like having this apple.
I mean, I think
what are your thoughts?
I'm taking it from a psychological perspective, based on the research that in the sample size. This is how I always do things. I don't put my opinion out there. This is coming from what I've read and what I understand. Some psychologically, it can come from, if you're talking about statutory versus other aspects. Now, when you talk about statutory and forcible and date and all this other thing, these are all different dynamics of it, and it's just different. Now, when it comes from like little kids, were you abused? That plays a part. Were you abused mentally? Like, was your dad an overbearing dad? Did you have an overbearing dad or mother? Like, were you in an authoritarian home? And the reason I say that, because what happens is you develop an inferiority complex. That inferiority complex carries over into adulthood to where you don't associate yourself. You don't feel like you are masculine enough to deal with a grown woman, so you typically will prey on little children, because in your mind, you're not, even though you are sexually, physically developed, you're not mentally sexually developed, so you can't really deal with the complexities of having intimate relationship with a grown woman. Now, a child, you will be more attracted to, and you see these guys typically liking around about the one age group that R. Kelly likes. They're not quite legal, they're under, but they're over a certain age. Like, they're not infants and they're not like toddlers. They're beyond adolescence. They're right there, preteen, teenage, right there at puberty, right in between there. Those are the type of women that they like. So inferiority complex that can be brought on by an overbearing childhood. The like for porn, but having a porn addiction, you become desensitized to women, and you start liking just weird. And a lot of times, a sex addict has a pedophilic. I'm just gonna say add-on. It has a pedophilic add-on that comes along with it. Not in all of them, but in quite a few, it showed that they do have thoughts of having sex with, not particularly having sex, but maybe exposing themselves to a kid, or touching on a kid, or engaging in fellatio with a kid, vice versa. The other one is dissociation, where you dissociate with being an adult male, period. Like you just don't, and abstinence of sex. Like that's where your priests come in at. These guys abstain from sex, but why? And then you end up messing with a little boy, and you got all these grown nuns around there, but you ain't trying to put none of them. You rather trying to get at a little boy. So why? Because a lot of times when a person is abused, remember the old cliche, the abused will eventually one day become the abuser. Now, is that true? Nothing is true. Nothing is 100%. But if you look at the larger numbers, people who were yelled and cursed at as a child, yell and curse at their kids. People who was spanked as a child, they typically grow up and will spank their kids. I'm not saying spanking is abusive. That's not what I'm saying, because I agree with spanking. I spank my boys, and I have a method for doing it, and I don't leave bruises and all that stuff. But some people just don't know how, and their parents didn't know how. Your parents set the foundation on your behavior. What you see is how you're going to respond to.
Right.
He does. That's the behavior that you're typically going to mimic, and that's across most domains. Littman 2019, she did a study where she interviewed guys who was raised by single moms, and then she did one with single dads, and the sample size was over 1,000 and some kids. And the boys in those families that was raised by women had feminine traits. That's all they saw was a woman. They didn't see a man. And those guys that was raised by dad, they had masculine traits, but they lacked empathy. They were almost hyper masculine.
Mm-hmm.
Your influence of that's your environment. That's what.
But that's like to your point. That's like these people that are still in the hood, like the projects where they come out of the mother's house in the project and get their own project, with a bunch of kids. It's like that cycle.
This is what you saw. Very rarely will you see somebody rise above and say, I don't want to live like this.
Yeah.
But if you live like that, what did you learn while you were living like that? Did you learn the same thing that I learned when I was in the hood? Like, I never lived in the hood. I went to the hood. I wanted to see, because deprivation brings about curiosity and motivation. So I was motivated to go to the hood. Like, no, you don't need to be over there. Shit, I'm going straight there. As soon as I got a car, headed straight to the hood. And when I was hanging out there, I understood that the culture in the hood was way fucking different than what I was being brought up. Way more loyal in the hood than where I was raised. I was raised in a normal little middle class society, and we ain't really fuck with each other. But they all fuck with each other, and will fuck you up if you ain't from there and you fuck with somebody from there. Like, they can pick on the fat dude, but you can't. You don't fucking live there. You don't hurt his feelings. I dare you. This is like my brother. I'll kill you about him. And I'm like, damn, I really like that. But that's totally different. So if you think about it, if you were raised in that kind of dynamic, you're going to have a hard time adjusting to the type of dynamic that I was raised in. You're not going to fit in. I stayed in the hood so fucking long, I don't like hanging around middle-class people. And I still go to the hood and I hang out because I know I got a potty mouth. And they're like, well, John, I said, I don't give a damn. That's just for books. I know when to turn that shit on and off. I like to cuss. I like to talk like this. That shit funny. I don't want to talk about the hypothesis said that the state is I don't talk like that. I know how I want to talk. I just want to be myself and be relaxed and be funny, be a little bit loud.
But that's because you can control that, though, because there are some people there that are like out of there,
But that's the point that Real Talking them is making too. when you realize what the fuck you doing, like I'm telling you, I'm just telling you what the fucking research says. But nigga, I'm like, bro, you can't identify. Like, that's a fucking kid, bro.
Yeah.
Like, your shit ain't got no business being in that kid, around that kid, in front of that kid. What are you doing? Like, what the fuck you really got going on? Now, do I really do genuinely believe that does play a part? But nigga, at some point, you need to wake your ass up and like, dude, this a kid. Like, this girl she don't really know what the fuck you got going. I know she fast in her ass and she talking that shit, but she really don't fucking know what's about to go down. She really don't understand that.
Right.
Like, you really don't. And
But I have two questions. So, okay, so one question is, okay, so do we believe that, for instance, molesters make molesters? So once you've been molested, you end up molesting others. Do we think that?
I don't think that. I'm living proof of that.
Not all the time, but usually, do you feel that?
Not even usually. I think it's a small percentage.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because it's an aversive action too.
There you go.
You gotta understand something. Under Thorndike's theory, for something to be repeatable, a lot of times it needs to be pleasant. And if it's a very unpleasant experience, then the chances of you repeating that event are not that great.
That's true.
See, I'm just saying a way your mind is shaped. I'm not saying that it is a causative factor for somebody to engage in great. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, John, and what you just said, Oprah said that same thing one time and people went at her head, but she was telling the truth too. Like molesters generally, when they have sex with either a grown adult or a little kid, that little kid, you know, just listen, that little kid normally finds that, you know, they arousing, they like it, but they don't realize they're being molested by a grown person. You see what I'm saying? And Oprah was saying that same thing, but people took what she said the wrong way.
Nah,
you know what I'm saying?
I mean, if so, what I'm saying is, if the child, you got to understand something. When do you think a child comes into sexual maturity? I know when they do, but when do y'all think they do?
I say like 12, 13.
Maybe like 19, 20.
I think for girls, it kind of happens when they start.
Like 12, 13, ain't it?
What is sexual maturity? What do you mean?
Sexual when they can have a baby.
When they have babies.
No, I thought you meant like mentally.
Hell no, I'm talking about physically.
I mean, what comes next? Physically,
I don't know when
you actually designed to have kids at 13, 12 years old.
Yeah, about to say 12.
It's just the laws. In some states, the laws are very lax on that. Like in Alabama, a 16-year-old girl can fuck a 30-some-year-old man. Shit can be done about it at all, period. She don't need no permission from nobody. She can fuck whoever she want to, period. And that's just the way that is. I mean, if you look back at your great-grandparents, I promise you, your grandma was probably about 12 or 13, 14, had her first baby. And I promise you, your great-grandfather was probably 10 to 12 years older than her.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah, they were younger. Yeah, they were younger.
Yeah, because see, there was those laws didn't come into place until like way later.
So why do you think the laws did? Like, what happened?
It probably had something to do with race, more than likely, because they didn't.
Do you think it was a race thing, or do you just think it was wrong? I mean, you think it was a
because
race
there was
thing,
no.
or?
Because here's the thing, there was no example of it being wrong. It was too prevalent. You had 14. You had a 14. It was not uncommon for a 20-year-old boy to marry a 13, 14-year-old girl and have sex. Now, you mean to tell me
the jobs were different, right? So the man would go work and, the woman was home, taking care of the kids and family. So
yeah, and none of them really went to school, so it doesn't fucking matter. Like,
right.
That I mean, they got homeschooled or they just learned however they learn. Yeah, sure, some of them went to school. But for the ones who had them big ass farms, they didn't give a shit about going to school. That was not the purpose. The reason you have so many fucking great cousins is because granddad needed help on that farm. That's the only reason they had a lot of kids. You serious as hell. You talk to some of them old farmers and ask them why the grandmama had 16 kids. Nigga, do you know how much long it takes to farm the goddamn crops, son? I'm like, what? 16. They better be mostly boys. And you be mad at them every time a girl, god damn, we plowing one more damn. You have to get pregnant again. We're gonna have to work on this shit. So these dudes was like marrying these young girls, but where was it a problem? This nigga provided for him. She had babies around 14 years old. It wasn't just wasn't like that. You come to the father, and the parents blessed off on it. They wasn't like fucking her mind up. She was just fine. She had kids, a whole bunch of kids. If you
she lived a great
have a
life.
bunch of kids, huh?
I said she lived a great life. She was taking care.
She lived a great life. I mean, that's debatable now, but you know, back then, shit. Farmers make a lot of fucking money. I don't know if y'all know that, but them 6 figures right there. And these are big farms. I ain't talking about little bitty ass gardens. I'm talking about farms, acres.
Let me read what Nita support Lucy, but she said, do you think do you guys think that some people never grow mentally? Like, could you just stop maturing mentally at some point?
Yeah. You can run into a blockade. Yeah. You can just stop. I done ran a bunch of niggas is like old as hell, but boy, they mind stopped somewhere back at 15.
Yeah. And then Clem says,
Michael Jackson did it.
Oh, this is good one.
Yeah, Michael Jackson. It's called that is called the Peter Pan syndrome.
So Clem says, do you think schools have prolonged mental maturity? That's a great point. I think so. Because school is just a babysitter at this point. Like,
school is to condition your ass to work. That's what school is for. To condition you to work. That's why you have 8-hour days. That's why you have breaks, holidays. That shit is just like a job. They condition you to work.
Like, when parents go to work, like they need somewhere to be. Like,
right.
Yeah. After like 5th grade, you're not learning anything useful. You know. Other that could help you sustain a life. You could learn things, you know, just to be better and mentally, you know, develop like
you're not learning.
Riley,
here's the thing. Reason I say when you learn something, that means you own it. That's your information.
Go ahead.
You ask a 20. You can ask a 25-year-old person. Have them take a fucking test of a 5th grade level, and I promise you, you can't pass that fucking test with an A. You can't even pass it with a B. You're doing good if you can do a C. Most of that shit you forgot. Why? Because it was not relevant. You don't give a shit about it. And then when you go, the way the school is set up is not for you to learn.
Let's let him fix his face because he on the panel.
Like me when I be on Cam's panel, I have a face going on. I'm like, what? What the fuck? Last panel, I kept that face the whole night messing with Elmer. I was like, what?
Thank you, Robin, for the money. I appreciate you, sis. Aw, thanks, Boo. Here comes, is Nita? Yeah, she's here. Hey, Nita.
We still trying to let Riley.
Before you say anything, we're going to let Riley go first. Yeah. Okay? And then I also have a good point that I want to bring to the group. Okay, go on, Riley.
Yeah, I refuse to believe that school is pointless. I don't care if it's high school, college. I refuse to believe that because it does give you an opportunity to gauge your measurement in regards to how you can retain information. And if you can gauge that based on the information that you're receiving from school, then you know you can pick up stuff along the way as you become an adult. And I think those are vital skills that you need in order to be a self-sufficient young man. I don't care what it is. If you can learn the basics, then that means you can learn skills outside of that in order to make money for yourself, or hell, even learn skills on how to talk to women. Like, you need to learn this shit. Like, all this shit.
You think that's in school?
Talking. You don't learn that in school. Come on, man.
You learn
that. Hold on. Let me finish.
Yeah, that social aspect is about the best thing for school.
Because you learn how to interact with folks. Like, even in college, like everybody say college is pointless. In college, you meet some of the people that you're gonna know the rest of your damn life. You know what I'm saying? You engage
with different types of folks from different types of walks of life. You understand how to move in those particular circles. You know what I'm saying? These are all things that are pertinent to be a functioning, self-sufficient adult. I don't care what nobody says. Like,
I
even if
disagree.
you a PWI, you learn how to deal with them.
I was wasting my time.
I disagree with that too. I disagree. I know a whole lot of great self-sufficient adults who didn't go to school.
I was
or to
already
college.
like mentally mature at a young age, and it probably was because I grew up alone, you know, so I always had to, you know, fend for myself. So I've always been like super independent, and you know, college was a big waste of time. People were just out there partying, kicking it, trying to sleep around with each other, and then it created a bill for me. That's what it did.
Nah.
You know
what? I'm not gonna lie, because with college, look, for me, for instance, right? I didn't want to go away for college. I actually wanted to stay home and go to college, like just go every day and come home. And when I tell you that was the best decision my parents forced me, like pushed me to do, honestly, I learned the best life experiences away at college, living by myself, learning to be an adult, and literally just doing it on your own. You really, really do, and you figure it out. You know, I'm not saying that people that don't go to college don't get that, because I feel that, you know, people that don't go to college, they still do end up being amazing people and have amazing jobs, amazing careers, and, you know, very successful. But at the same time, I do think that we can't sit here and say that college doesn't do that for people. So it really does.
From the social aspect, I agree with you 100%.
You're social in high school. You're social in elementary school. Like, you
but that's different. You still going home. You still going home.
I mean, but you gotta learn how to socialize at different levels in your life. Like, you gotta, like, if you can be that kid who's just really a follower, but you know, you will stop doing that shit when somebody get in your ear. Like, bro, you a follower. Stop doing this around high school, stuff like that. Okay, but let's stick to what school is for, really. That is a soft skill that you will get in college. The other soft skill is being able to do research. Being able to know that Wikipedia ain't shit. That's not where you go to find it. Being able to, I'm telling you, like y'all had, I don't think it was this panel, but might have been this panel. But it was another panel where I'm like, two people was trying to tell this dude, like, I work in this field, like, this is my shit. This is what my whole master's is in. Then the other one, that's what the fuck she do for a living. And dude wasn't letting it go. And I was like, what the fuck? So I gave up on it. I just left. I put my 10 cents in there. My shit, what not even been on the panel, was matching up with exactly what the fuck she had previously said before I even chimed in on it. And he still just won't let it go. So being able to do research on your own to find the answer so that you can talk about it is fine. But when it comes to like learning, who knows how to learn? You know how you learn better than any fucking stranger could ever teach you. There's no way none of y'all can disagree with that. A teacher does not know how to teach you. Not to mention, a test is not long enough to test what the fuck it is you need to know. Do you really, really think that people who become doctors because they learn that shit throughout? Hell no. Them niggas struggled on them damn exams, because when you become a doctor, you get the same test over and over. That's why I was like, okay, when I was on that journey, I noticed that these damn tests are like the same over and over, because that's how you fucking learn. Your hippocampus is your long-term memory, and for you to memorize, it has to be relevant. For it to be relevant, it has to be a frequency involved. Your teachers don't give you the same test over and over.
Come on, John, though. But you know, the teachers, they give you the essentials. They give you the basics.
Give you some basics so you can read and write.
I do agree.
Do better by yourself.
I do agree that the best way to learn is doing something. I do believe
doing it and learning it yourself.
Doing it.
Learning
yes, but I'm saying school's important because you get the essentials and the basics. You get the base of what you're going to do. I couldn't just wake up without going to school, though. I couldn't wake up today and say, "Oh, I'm gonna be a lawyer today." I wouldn't know what the hell I'm doing without going to school. I wouldn't. You know,
wait a minute.
Give you the basics.
See, here's a whole another. Here's two more examples. Abraham Lincoln never been to nobody's school ever in his life. He's what's called as an autodidactic person. This nigga taught himself everything he needed to know, to include constitutional law. He taught himself. Never been to no school. I'm talking about none. No school. The dude, the black guy who was the con artist from where was he from? He was either from Connecticut, maybe from California. I don't know. You just have to look him up, but he was one of the greatest con artists ever. This nigga represented people and won cases. That's how he ended up going to prison, because in one particular courtroom, the document wasn't signed quite right, and the judge just asked a bunch of fucking questions, and you found out this dude ain't been in nobody's damn. He dropped out of school when he was like in the 9th or 10th grade, and he always wanted to be a damn lawyer. He went to prison, he got out, and now he's a professional. He's a paralegal, but that's as high as he can go, because he can never sit for the bar because he got that felony over his head. But he was so good that they was talking about trying to get this shit washed off. It's been some years ago since I looked at that. But he learned how to represent he learned this shit between watching, reading. Look at the dude who represented himself and who became a damn lawyer later on. And this is recently. He learned in prison. He just was not going to take no for an answer. And he got the books himself and he taught himself. You learn more, because essentially that's all the teacher's trying to get you to do. She'll give you this much and she wants you to take the rest.
But my thing is, somebody wrote those books, so you still have to learn somewhere. You're getting the basics from somewhere, right?
Well,
and usually it's a tutor that probably wrote that. I'm just
saying the schoolhouse itself is not really. It's just not really necessary. And you starting to see people starting to see that in the pandemic. Well, kids had a hard time during the first part of the pandemic, but anyone who's been on online schools and stuff like that, they're becoming more and more popular. Because you get to break down your day the way you want to, you break down the information the way you want to, and you regurgitate that information the way that you work within this thing, but you're not sitting in a boring ass lecture. You're not talking about shit that's not going to be on the test. Everything that you learn on your own is relevant. You have to do your own research. Like, it's a lot that goes into it. And to me, you just learn and retain more when you have to do it. Like, when you have to do it, you have to find the answers. You just, to me, you retain the information longer. That's just my personal opinion. How the hell we got away from great in this? Because I don't know.
It happens every time. Don't worry about it. Nita, go ahead. Mama got it.
First of all, namaste to everyone.
Namaste.
I'm blessed and highly favored.
Me too. Blessed and highly favored.
I can't stand it. Ignore him.
So glad. And I want to say as well, Real Talk 87, sir, please, if you will, leave that to me. All right. I mean, you can namaste all you want, but however, that's my belief. Anyway.
Okay.
So you all are John, you answered my question earlier when I asked, do you think that some people don't grow mentally? And he was like, yeah. So I'm not taking sides here at all. Please follow me when I say. So we all agree that some people don't grow mentally. When it comes to, I'm going back to the topic, when it comes to, rapists and them being raped in their childhood, do you think the rapists have not grown mentally? And the reason why they mess with children is because their mental state is still that of a child?
I can't say that. I can't say that because I can't even put Bill Cosby in this because he was raping grown women.
Grown women. Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, the ones who rape children.
Well,
that's what I said. The ones who rape children. Do you think they mentally have not grown? Because
I know R. Kelly mentally has not grown because he married Aaliyah and she was a kid. So, I mean, you can say that about R. Kelly. I agree with that. Not so much Brother Polight. Not so much Brother Polight though, but R. Kelly, I can agree with that.
You know what? Because people can also too. They can talk like adults. Because I'm a living witness. They can talk like adults and have the adult conversations, but sometimes they go back, and certain triggers make them be as of children again. And the reason why they want to be around children all the time, not because of you know, they're just kids and all the time, but they can switch it back and forth. It's a mental illness. We've all agreed that it's a mental illness, it's a sickness. And by all means, I am not making an excuse. I'm just trying to go deep into the mind of a rapist. And especially the rapists who rape children. And that's why I say, do you think that maybe the growth mentally has been stunted for whatever reason?
Yeah, and that's what I was saying like earlier, that I don't believe in nothing is 100%. That's a fact. And in a certain percentages, yeah, I believe that would be a huge factor that I'm not going to use that. They see themselves or feel more comfortable being around the presence of children rather than adults. And that's kind of the point that I was getting to. And that was actually the reason for me saying how I felt more comfortable in the hood, even though like I'm 1 year from a doctorate, probably the only guy out there in most cases that's at that level. And that's where I feel most comfortable. I don't feel comfortable around other current doctor candidates like myself, or people with masters like myself. I don't feel comfortable in that environment. I can talk to them, but it's too stiff for me. I would rather be where I can be myself. So with that being said, let's look at the case. I know we talk about men, but what about all these women that get caught up in these cases? It's been a lot of teachers. Why were they caught up in these cases? Let's look at them.
Same reason?
No, I didn't specify men or women. I said a rapist.
No,
so whether that's a woman or a man, that can be that can go for either way.
Well, yeah, of course. But with the ones that we're talking about are just so happen to men. But let's talk about the women, the ones that one real famous case where they actually got married. This boy was 14 years old, and this a whole grown woman. And I know that women find attractive a man that security and provision. So how in the hell can you find security from a 14-year-old boy or provision from a 14 who's not even old enough to work without a worker's permit? He can't even work yet. Like, and at best he can work with a permit part-time, like very, very part-time, like very limited schedule. And how are you feeling safe and secure? What can he protect you from? Maybe a dog or something like that, but not another grown man. He can't.
That's because some of those women don't look for that. They're looking for a nut like other men are.
Y'all can continue, but I just wanted to say, John, you fit in so well with the men of Battle of the Sexes. You know how they always like to be turning around and be like, well, what about the women?
Say, hold on, John. Don't listen to that because the men don't do that. The women do that more than anything. So don't listen to that. Don't listen to that.
I'm just saying. But anyway,
but yeah, that's you know what would cause these women to risk perfect everybody. I mean, when y'all were young girls growing up, and now y'all grown women, y'all know that y'all knew the boys who you could not give a kiss to because they're gonna tell every damn body, and you just avoided them. Well, that's a pretty much known thing. So why in the hell would a teacher risk her whole fucking career knowing she get his dude some booty? He finna tell every damn body, bro. He just screwed the damn biology teacher, of course. Tell everybody. He walking around this bitch like y'all ain't got shit on me, bro. Miss Betty, I knocked her back out last night.
Well, I mean, it can go the same thing for men. You know, they know that they could potentially lose everything behind their actions. So, I mean, I get where you're getting at, John. However, maybe not go that route with it.
You know,
so that means that there's a common dynamic between both that affect both people. And we got to find what that is. What is that? Is it environment? Was it abuse? What is the correlation? Because
that's why I said mentally they haven't grown out of that.
And what made them not grow out of it? Why did they stagnate? Why did they become fixated?
Well, you know, it's that phase like people hurt people. So sometimes people don't just grow out of the traumas. They just know hurt. And maybe no one's never shown them the way to healing. And since no one ever showed them, or they didn't take the time for themselves when they turned adults, they just continued on as it was a regular pattern of life.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? Just to say for the teacher's defense in this whole situation, because you brought her up. But sometimes men, boys, whatever you want to say, can be very persuasive. And sometimes y'all just be harassing us for the longest
What the
time.
fuck?
The longest time. Y'all
Hold on. Whoa. No,
Vee
Vee did not just say that.
Eventually, maybe she did start. Wait, hold on, this little boy, and then okay.
So that makes it okay.
At that point, he mentally messed up with her.
Really?
Mentally messed up.
You mean to tell me this boy was
wow?
He just went in. Get out of here.
I can't believe she's saying this.
I can't either. This is my first time on here. I can't believe she went there with it.
You really said that?
You are. Man, get out of here.
I mean,
nowadays your ass too persistent. Somebody getting called on you. Keep asking. Just keep worrying the hell out of a woman and see what happens. Your ass gonna be toted off. And you'll be talking about your ass.
He was a big boy.
You may think John said it was okay to harass the hell out of this woman like that. Poor black
Hold on, Vee. The same things you saying right now, Vee. Maybe he was a big boy. Listen, there are some, and y'all know it's true. There's some 14, 15-year-old girls who are built like grown women. Maybe he was just a big girl. So that gives the man an excuse to have sex with her?
I was going to say, right, sometimes I do believe that us females can be trick gay, okay? Because I'm not even going to lie. Sometimes I look at these little kids, these teenagers, and they look like grown-ass women, okay?
See, until they open their fucking mouth.
Oh, yeah, until they open their mouth, that too.
So,
and that's what I was going to say with R. Kelly. Maybe he didn't know the exact age. He thought they were just about
No, man, he knew.
That nigga knew. Like,
did you not see them?
Listen here, them niggas said that bitch over 19, do not bring her back here.
Yeah,
he was older than 19, do not bring her back here.
A specific age group of people,
because even girls admitted that they lied about that age. He did go older. He did.
Okay, Vee, but hold on, Vee. Did Aaliyah lie about her age?
Hell no.
No, she did.
He was in love with Aaliyah. That's the difference.
Illuminati should have left that girl alone. R. Kelly would be out right now.
Hey, for real.
R. Kelly would be out right now.
No, he got turned on by younger girls. That was his MO. Like, that's what made him go.
Yeah.
No way.
He just don't. I think that he has a certain amount of sexual anxiety when it comes to a woman that's older, because the first person he ever had sex with was a older woman, a woman that was way older than him.
So childhood played a part.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look at it from that perspective, because if you having sexual anxiety, and with men, when you have sexual anxiety, bro, your shit just don't work. It don't work. It won't work for you. Like,
what is it? Sexual anxiety.
You just fucked up. But then you bring this 15-year-old girl around. This nigga just hyper than shit. Like, he don't need Viagra, nigga. She was the Viagra. He good. That's, man, his childhood definitely, I believe, had a role to play with him. I mean, this dude did never learn to read, never learn to write. He could just sing. Period. That's like it. If he would have been not good at singing, he'd just been fucked. All the way around. Like he'd have been homeless in Chicago, running the streets, or selling dope or something. I don't know.
True, because if he talks long enough, he'll also.
They ain't got nothing to do with messing with little girl.
Trust me, Riley.
I still do think his childhood played a part in it, though, because I feel that he just mentally felt like, okay, somebody could do that to me. I need to show that I have the power, that I can control this, and I can do this. And that was his best way of doing it, I think, was taking it out on underage girls, because a grown-ass woman that knows better probably isn't going to put themselves in that mess and will speak up for themselves. Whereas somebody that's vulnerable, because don't forget, he targeted girls too. This wasn't just like, oh, any and every girl. You know, a lot of them, they wanted to be singers. Okay, they're going to do whatever they need to do because this is R. Kelly. A lot of them, didn't have too many friends or things like that. He scouted the ones that he wanted, the ones that kind of would be more vulnerable and easy to get.
I appreciate all this you're not trying to defend R. Kelly, but you are like, well, maybe you're trying to make excuses for this man. And I'm sorry, like I said, he's been through shit when he was little. He went through his little sexual trauma. I don't give a shit. You're a grown man now. Man the fuck up. Period. I'm just being honest with you.
Okay, well then let's move from R. Kelly. Let's talk about Polight, because he's a
Let's talk about him.
Bring me up to speed on Polight. Who is Brother Polight?
Yeah, he's been trying. You have to just jump in with us, because
just shut us up. That's how we.
I gotta get a backstory. Y'all go ahead. Let me.
Okay.
On what?
Okay.
Oh wait, Riley, you was gonna say something? Go ahead.
Go ahead, Riley, bro.
No, I was gonna say something about R. Kelly, but since we're moving on to Polight, we can go ahead and talk about Polight. But I need the backstory on Polight too.
Well, see, I don't know.
Oh, what, on R. Kelly? I was just gonna say
in Polight.
Oh yeah, I know Polight.
Yeah,
I just know what happened recently. That's all I know about Polight.
He's a polygamist.
What happened recently?
Hotel. Well, no, maybe not hotel. He's one of those.
He's a polygamist. He's got two wives.
Oh no, he got like
and a girlfriend.
He's not a polygamist. He's a something. I don't know. I'm kind of the other word is.
A lot of women. I don't know what he is actually, so I could look it up. I guess like he's always debating people on like our history and where we're from and who's actually the real. Yeah,
he's part of the conscious community.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what
there
he
we
is.
Go. This is right, Real Alley. Go on, Real. Bring us into.
That's not right, my alley. I'm not part of the conscious community, but I do know about Brother Polight. Right? I don't like the conscious community. They all full of shit, in my opinion. So, yeah, they are. Being honest with you.
Well, bring us up to speed with Polight.
Allegedly, I gotta use allegedly so I don't get your show cut off and I don't get in trouble for saying that this exactly happened, but because it's open case. But allegedly, Polight has a girlfriend, and he asked his girlfriend if he could take her daughter out, which the daughter was 14 years old, to like an after party or something. So he took her to the after party.
To talk to her about her behavior.
Yeah, something about that. Yeah. And something happened to where they ended up going to a hotel. And I guess he gave her something to drink or something of that nature, and she passed out, and he tried to give her, fellatio. I'm gonna use the real fellatio or whatever. And when she was trying to wake up, she woke up with him trying to make her throw up or some shit like that. So this happened back in February.
Yeah. So. He pretty damn guilty.
Why her mouth was swollen.
Why you say he guilty?
Huh?
He might as well play it guilty because the DNA match with the semen in her mouth and damn his body.
DNA don't lie. Hey, Dana don't lie.
Oh, rap.
Dana don't lie.
Did the DNA come back?
Yes.
Yeah, within extra rust to Miami-Dade.
Oh, so it was him.
Yeah, it was him. It was him, but I'm still gonna say allegedly because he ain't got convicted yet. I'm still gonna say allegedly.
Allegedly, my bad, allegedly. But this man allegedly had this shit premeditated, okay? Because his whole goal that night was to separate that girl from her mama. That's it. Ain't no responsible stepfather, father. Nigga, I'm not finna even take your daughter to after party. Like, you better not even be mentioned. Don't even talk to me about going to an after party. Like, go to bed. That's where you going, to bed.
But them conscious people on that mind manipulation, they control all conversations from every angle. What they say is Bible, and everybody around them just listens.
But my thing is, he has got so many women that he can pick from, right? So, like, you put yourself in this life where you live a polygamist life, whatever, and you can have any woman you want. All these women are fine with it whenever you want to. Why would you mess with your girlfriend's 14-year-old daughter? Now, I don't think that the mom necessarily knew he was going to a club that night because, well, what I heard in the police report was just that he said he was taking her out to go and talk to her about her behavior.
You can talk to her right here.
Right.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
ain't gotta go nowhere. See, that's what I'm saying. That's why old women knew what was up, bro. Like little girls weren't allowed to sit on uncle's laps, none of that bullshit. Yeah. You weren't taking the daughter nowhere. You don't give her no fucking bath. That's your damn, get your lazy ass wife up and tell her to watch that girl. You don't watch
today's mothers, bro, and I'm not blaming the mama for what happened. I'm not blaming her. I also don't think that I am, but today's, tread lightly or whatever. Fuck it. Look, today's mothers, they just don't give a damn about their daughters like that no more. They will let them go any and everywhere with any and everybody. They don't give a shit. That's just how it is with today's mamas.
It is.
I don't think they're gonna do that though. Like, I don't.
But how you gonna let your 13-year-old daughter go out on dates and think she wonder why she got ended up pregnant?
Mm-hmm. But this is the reason why I don't think this mother necessarily did that. I think that he fed her something. I don't think she knew because she immediately, when she saw the state of her daughter, when her daughter came home, she immediately took her to the ER. Immediately took her. They did all the testing and everything. That's how they got his DNA, like straight away, same clothes, everything. And my thing is, okay, I see what you're saying, real. Like a lot of women do leave their kids with any and everybody, but then I also find that there are a lot of women that are very conscious about whether or not they're leaving a boyfriend with a child that's not there with their daughter, that's not that man's child. Like a lot of women aren't doing that either. They're very conscious about it. It takes a long time before you're gonna leave your child by yourself with your man.
It's his statue, his persona. He's like one of those in control kind of guys that makes you trust them. Like if you fall into that trap, you're not thinking like that. You're thinking like you're a father figure to her. You're gonna, step in and do talk to her ways that I can because she won't listen to me. That age at 14 and mom. But I feel like these guys in powerful positions, I feel like they're oversexed. If you look at Polight's women, they're all like these build-a-body kind of looking women and things like that. That's like your perfect type, right? So like if you have access to that, like you can't go up from there. You got to go to the side at that point, right? And I feel like they're oversexed. They can get everything. They plateau, and now it's like they get to looking in other areas. I feel
he probably was. This guy right here sounds like to me has a paraphilic disorder. He's got a sexual addiction. That's why he like this wild lifestyle. All these
R. Kelly did too.
That's what they coming out.
Huh?
Is that what's coming out?
What?
Well, R. Kelly?
Yeah.
Hell yeah! Wait, did you not watch the documentary on him?
Nah.
Man,
he had a sexual addiction. He had an addiction to sex.
And his was strictly that age group, huh?
But it was strictly like he just had like a thing for younger women.
But see, this dude right here, I don't think he has a thing for younger girls. This is what I'm saying. Remember when I said earlier that when you have a sexual addiction, oftentimes there is a pedophilic component to it. You understand? That's his situation. Like that's his situation. That's why this girl, that's why this is what allegedly happened to this girl. I don't think he targets, like he just don't, it's not a history of this man. From what I understand, all his women are grown ass women.
Exactly.
One particular girl,
he needed somebody right.
He had to, what he had to do was he got to satisfy that. Okay, so this is the mind of a person with a sexual addiction. They do not like having sex with their main partner. That is not part of it. I hear women loosely use this all the time. Man, my husband act like he's a sex addict. He just won't stay with me. Nah, he just like your ass. He like having sex with you. Leave that man alone. You married him. That's your husband. Give him some. Sex addicts don't like you. They like everything else. They like different damn women. Yeah. Like just random ass women. but they don't want to leave you because you, in their mind, make them feel normal. See, they don't want to admit that they have a problem. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, this is normal. Like, I'm a normal person. Look, I'm married. You're like their home base. So you're like what keeps this shit from being like real. Like, I really do have a damn problem. I done lost everything behind this shit. Well, now you got to address it. Now you have to say, I'm a sex addict. Something's wrong with me. But as long as you got your wife there and you can keep the shit hidden, and it's the same thing with sex addicts. As long as they keep their husband there, then, you know, I'm just cheating real bad. But why? You wearing Tinder the fuck out. Like, Tinder is your best, your most favorite app, often used app, Tinder. This shit is like right here. It never comes up to be deleted, ever. Like, you hooking up with everybody. POF, Tinder, Backpage, you on all the goddamn sites, bro. Like, but that's how they think. And then somewhere along the lines, you end up getting this. People like that also typically watched a lot of porn. And then fantasy, there's a blur of it between fantasy and what's real. I mean, people think, man, I used to love, like, when I started studying psychology, nigga, I stopped watching porn. I was like, I can't end up like this. This do that. Oh my God. I did not realize that it would desensitize you to where you can't, like, you know, get, you know, like have a live damn woman. Like, oh, okay. I'm through. No more porn for me. I just wait. I'm good. I'm good. Even have me out here in these goddamn streets going to prison. No, I'm good. I'm so good. Hell no.
I'm done with you. I never knew that they don't like their main chick.
Hell no,
they just use them as the stability piece.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Look at that movie. What's that movie by I think it's by Tyler Perry with the girl who was a sex addict. I think it's Addiction or some shit. I don't know the name of it, but it's a good movie. She ain't like fucking him. She fucked everybody but him. And everyone that I've ever sat in group set when I was doing my clinicals, I had I had to leave from that one because I was worse than real talk. Like, in my mind, I was bored. Like, I was supposed to be working with pedophiles. I was like, I can't do it. But, listen here, man. Listen, I got 3 boys, and if a nigga put his hand on Aaron 3, I'll go to prison for life. Possibility of parole. And that's my mama beg him not to kill me because I don't really give a fuck. Like, I'm killing everything. Like, did you see the nigga go in my house? Or you was with it too? Nah, what's that? Nah, nigga, you should have called me or something in the smoke signal. You gonna die. Nigga, you next, nigga. I couldn't work with him, but when I work with the sex addicts, I can't say names, but let me tell you something. It was like almost 50-50. It was almost 50% between men and women. I was expecting to see all men. Hell no. If it was 100 motherfuckers, which was about 30, but if it was 100 in there, I promise you, about 54 would have been men and the rest was women. If it would have been 100, nigga, it was a lot.
Wow.
Where the fuck was y'all that nigga when I was single, man? God, like, I could have ran them out, y'all, for real.
Say, man, when you single, they all hidden. When you get in a relationship, like, they come out the woodwork.
Can I ask a question? I have a question though. Do you guys think that society thinks it's worse when a female is molested,
you already
or worse
fucking
when
know
a
this.
male is molested?
You know the answer to that, V. You already know the answer to that.
Hold up. She said when they are molested. She didn't say when they was the guilty party.
Wait, what was your? Hold on. Say the question again, V.
When they was a male victim or a female victim?
I said, whether they were a male victim or a female victim. Which one do you think is worse?
Female victim.
The female victim, yeah.
I think they act worse about it.
Yeah. They really listen. And I said this before. Yeah.
Yes,
most
sure.
the world, society really laughs at. Well, they don't laugh at like that no more, but
yeah, they
really don't take it. well, they do. I'm just trying to be, you know, a little soft tonight on tonight's show, just to show that, you know, I'm not gonna be that wild real talk that I normally am every week. But people normally, they look at men who get molested by women and they laugh at it. You see what I'm saying? They don't take it serious. They're like, oh, you got some pussy? Oh shit, you should be happy. You know what I'm saying? That's how they treat men.
To be okay with getting fucked at whatever age. Nigga, you man up, nigga. Man up. This shit ain't gonna work as good for you, boy.
Yeah.
Do you know that they're fucking his little mind up, nigga? You remember the first time you got some ass and how crazy you was after that and you couldn't concentrate on shit? Like nothing. You couldn't focus on nothing. You was no longer shy, nigga. You was actually kind of like a bully when it came to that one girl. Like, nigga, don't what you looking at her so much? But come on, Sharon, let's go back to the room. You want to do it again?
I just wanted to know because I feel like it should be bad for both, like underage kids.
It is bad for both, but it is not looked at the same.
Yeah, exactly.
We're desensitized.
Talking about some. My wife jumped on me. She did. What she do? What the? She jumped on me, nigga. She beat me up. Oh, all right, bro.
Yeah.
Where's she at now? She's standing in the kitchen with a
even when it comes to sex, because you know they have rape now for married couples. Where if the woman says no, that she can file rape on the husband. But
in Alabama, baby, I'm so glad.
That's because a man cannot legally rape.
So
cannot legally rape a man.
Yes, how she can?
Yeah, she can.
No, hold on. No, how come she
can't? Penetrate him. He penetrates her. There's a difference.
But she can
penetrate herself.
Right. Or
she can penetrate him. How she can?
It's sexual assault for men. It's not.
Rape doesn't have to involve penetration either.
No, it don't. Yeah, rape don't have to involve penetration. Like she can sit on my face. She can. Shit.
So that's what I was gonna say. So what I was saying was that like a woman could foul on her husband, but a husband can't. If a husband goes to say, "Man, my wife raped me last night," you know, and you know,
you don't even sound right coming out your mouth. It just sounds funny as hell.
That's because men like it. I mean,
no, that ain't. Listen, let me tell you something. This is
the beans. He's just spilled the beans on why we don't get treated the same.
Exactly. This is the thing, V. A lot of women really believe, they falsely believe, just because we get a hard on that we really want sex. Listen, I wake up every morning with a hard on. That don't mean I want sex right now.
That means
it happens.
Most of the time, it means I got a pee. I've been holding.
Yeah.
Normally, that's right, nigga. And I'm frisky. I can hold off on that pee. If you really want to get it, that's something that'll be that serious motherfucking one. I'm talking about that will be serious, boy.
I'm done with y'all. I'm done with y'all.
Yeah.
It was just glistening in the light.
I just wanted to know. I really did, because I think that regardless of who it is, I think it is wrong regardless anyway, man or woman. I just feel that I guess more women get away with it more often than men do, probably.
No, not really. No, damn teachers got fired and fucked up just like a man would. I'm talking, they ain't take it easy on their ass at all. I mean, they put the hammer on them.
But that punishment that wasn't that severe. That punishment wasn't that severe.
It wasn't.
Like that lady that
pedophile punishment ain't that severe in no case though.
She got out and they ended up getting married. She got out like soon
in like a few months. But your first chance with that shit, it don't normally never be that bad, man. When I was a cop, I was a sheriff's deputy, we had to do prison transport. When it was my rotation, it was a dude. One was going to the prison, but one was going to court. And this nigga was talking about fighting his case. He talking about, I got 5 years of probation.
Probation.
I said,
oh shit.
Nigga, you better keep this and go back home. What the fuck you mean? You gonna fight this? Well, you better take these 5 years of probation, boy, because Bubba's gonna light your ass up. You go there, I'll take you down south. Yeah, this man got child rape, child rape, child pornography, sodomy. I mean, this nigga had a list. I said, they gave you probation for 5 years. See, he was scared about the 5 years because he knew he was gonna do it again.
He was gonna slip up.
Now that I know now what the fuck I know, that's why he didn't want to be on probation for so long. Because the judge gonna throw the book at him the next time he come before him. He knew he was gonna do this again. I didn't know no better then. I wasn't in school at that time. I wasn't
because it's a mental issue. They actually
it's
have
definitely
a mental issue. They can't stop. It's not easy for them to stop once they start. I don't know. It's just a fact.
Cut it off is easy.
Thank you. I was going to say that.
But who's going to cut it off? No one.
Square business.
If you can try to force me to take a vaccine that ain't never been clinically tested, nigga, I ought to be able to cut your shit off.
Yeah.
Shit, so I'm gonna force you to never let it happen again. You force me, I force them. So that's what we do. We can put a petition in. If I gotta take this, then they gotta get their shit cut. Bill, deal. Do we have a deal? Let's make a deal.
Yes, he is. I green vegan.
I bet you niggas will straighten up. I bet they straighten up.
Oh, you're breaking up. You breaking up. I can hear you.
Say what you said.
CKQ said, was jail time is bad for the women? I don't think so.
Nah,
I think so.
It wouldn't.
No, because women, when women, a woman child molester or a woman rapist, whatever, they don't get the same treatment as a man who is locked up. Men got to get PC'd out of wherever they at if they are rapists. They got to get PC'd out.
Got to. Even in Alabama, they got to.
Yeah.
They ain't trying to hear that.
Nobody who is locked up likes a pedophile or a rapist. Nobody at all.
You ain't tell me all them goddamn women out here and you want to find yourself inside of a little girl. Come on, boys. Let's go show him. You gonna get that ass turned up. No, please stop my ass. Oh, it's gonna be bad.
Now see,
no rest, no sleep, no nothing. You getting beat up every day.
Now see, women who are locked up, they don't get that same treatment. They don't. They can be in general population with the other women, and they don't give a shit.
Girl, we understand.
Yeah,
he probably came on you, didn't he? Yeah.
Hey, Nita, we're just talking about whether women or men get treated differently in jail. And then the men obviously are saying the women don't, you know. It's like a walk in the park for us women.
The girls, now the women do get raped by the guards. And why they put a male guard at a woman prison, I have no fucking
That's
idea.
Weird. Yeah, that's weird.
Why would you do that? Like, I would never allow that to happen if I was the warden.
Yeah,
like,
but sometimes the women are doing it.
It's a man's job.
Sometimes, I mean, yeah, they probably are getting raped by the male guards too, but sometimes the women are doing it because they're messing with that man too, so that they can get what they need.
But see,
I don't know, man.
They can be manipulative. I'm sorry.
I don't agree with a female guard being at a male facility, and I don't agree with a male guard being at a female facility because it just ain't right. A female guard should be over the females. Because
you did not say that around another community.
I'm gonna say this though, because where I was at, there was more female guards than there was male guards. Where I was at.
But listen to the logic of it. Okay, I see what you guys are saying, but at the same time, listen to the logic of it. A lot of the times, women can talk men down, right? And men tend to listen or can listen. And the same thing is with women. Men can talk women down, and
that's bullshit.
Will listen.
That's bullshit.
No, listen.
Stop that. You don't even believe that.
Wait.
No, you don't even believe that.
Listen.
Vee, look on this panel. I can never talk you down on this panel. What are you talking about?
That's because it's you who talking. If John tried to talk me down, I bet you he could.
The only reason that they have these cross sexes is because an agenda that's being pushed on a bigger level, talking about equality. And at the end of the day, they know that a woman is best fit to work in a female prison. A man ain't got no business working around no damn women locked up, period. and a female ain't got no business working around a bunch of men that's locked up. You can't break up no fight. You can't. I don't give a damn who you are. You could be the
what if you're transgender?
Two men going at it, your ass will get hurt bad.
Yeah.
Trying to break it up.
If I was in a female prison, I would rather stare at a man all day than walking up and down in uniform than a woman.
But listen,
that's some kind of entertainment.
Get you a magazine then. Get you a man magazine.
But that's not the point.
I need flesh.
The point is,
what's a man magazine?
Hell, they used to have Playgirl magazine where there was number men in there. I mean,
one of them magazines.
Yeah. You ain't number 30, what? 36,
34. And yes, I had it when I was little. I remember them damn magazines here. What you mean? I don't know if they got any more now,
because dudes these females be getting disrespected and gunned down. What you think gonna happen? They don't have conjugal visits, and your ass walking around here smelling like roses. What you think? You finna get gunned down. He don't give a damn, especially about life. So what you gonna give him? More life? Nigga, you going to prison for life after. When you come back, you going back to prison. How about that?
I'm sorry. I believe men can be manipulated by the women and women can be manipulated by the men. And it happens all the time. And then, they get what they need. I'm sorry. I just feel that that's just how prison works. And that's why there are male guards at female prisons, and there are women at male prisons too. I mean, it shouldn't. I kind of get what you're saying, but then at the same time, I still feel that
because to do your job, the job that you're there for, you need to be in the best physical shape. Like, I don't believe in big, fat, overweight dudes being no prison guard. These dudes are fit. Prisoners are fit. They're in shape. They will put hands on you. They will have you where you cannot go home. Huh?
I said they got nothing else to do but work out.
Well, work out. These niggas be strong as shit in there. And your big lazy ass up here talking about you gonna stop one. Hey, don't make me come up. What you gonna do, fat boy? Bring your fat ass over here. Get some of this.
He can do a lot.
Have to call everybody. He ain't got no gun. You can't have guns inside of prison. He gotta have them hands. And
nope, he ain't got no guns. No guns in prison.
No guns. And them inmates will take one lick to light your ass up. You pull that stick out, he gonna use it on you. They got pepper spray.
Hey, y'all, I have to run. But I'm gonna be in the chat. Nita, are you? Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I have to run. I'm sorry, y'all. I'll let you guys know what's going on. Thank you all. See you. I'll be in the chat.
All right.
Bye.
What is this called?
Just say, I feel like I can see where men should probably be at male prisons, but I feel that in the female prisons, I think you need the men. I really do. I think that men are needed in female prisons.
Why? For what?
Because number one, they can break up stuff that's going on.
So can a woman.
A woman can break it up easier with another woman. I can find plenty of women that can get with who I can match them up. Let me hire them. I promise you, them girls will be acting right. They ain't gonna be in there walking around there talking about some this, that, and the third. They're gonna be disciplined. They're gonna be serious, and they're gonna take their job serious. I ain't finna have no. And I know how men think. Man, some of them girls down there cute, man. A lot of them be cute and frisky too. And here you are walking around with all this temptation all day.
I don't know about a lot of them, but some of them, yeah. Have you seen, John? Hold on, John. Have you seen some of these damn these female prisoners? A lot of them are ugly as shit. I'm just being honest with you.
Yeah, but
there are some cute ones.
Because they have a whole reality show about it.
Yeah.
Them guys get
because prisons are being pregnant, up in there too.
Yeah, this damn girl been in here for years and now she pregnant. It's 6 male guards. It's one of y'all's. I know it is. They don't have conjugal visits, just like the men. So y'all want to keep it. Y'all want to come clean. I'm the baby's dad.
I'm done.
I knew where the cameras wasn't, and she did too. And it just happened, boss. I fell in the ass. I just fell in it.
You just fell in it. Okay.
I just slipped up. Boss. I made a mistake.
Man, I'm sorry. Okay, y'all. Let's do our final thoughts. Let's go and do our final thoughts. Do we think that your childhood plays a role in the act of becoming a rapist? Real Talk 87.
All right, well, I think for some it can play a role, but I just honestly think that people are just sick out here. All right, and some people who get molested at a young age, they don't grow up to be molesters. So I can't say that that's always the case. It does happen with some, but majority, I don't think it does. I don't think childhood really plays a role. I just think people are some sick motherfuckers and they should go to jail, be locked up for eternity, and get your dick chopped off. Period. That's my opinion.
Mm-hmm. John, what's your final thought?
Well, like I said in the beginning, I believe that childhood does play a role in this. I don't think it plays a majority only role. I believe there's neurological factors to consider, brain structures. I didn't bring up all that stuff. I actually just found the research a minute ago. But yeah. And I do believe that you should be castrated. If you do not seek the therapy, if you do not accept the therapy should be a part of your sentence. I do believe that you should be brought in. I don't believe it should be voluntary. I believe it needs to be inpatient, in treatment, inside of a prison. Like, you need to be locked up because you ruin this child's life. This child will never have meaningful relationships. This child will more than likely grow up confused about who they are supposed to be, and a whole mess of other things. So yeah, your freedom should definitely be taken away. And the first time you should go through therapy. If it happens again, you should be completely castrated. Because you're just not going to stop.
Nita? Ooh, you don't think they can stop?
Huh?
Sorry, I was gonna move on to you, but then John said something that just made me switch and go, hold on a second. You don't think they can stop?
Nah, most people who engage in
I don't think they can. No.
Most of them don't stop. Like, there's not a high percentage of it's less than 2%. Like, you can get a person to stop using heroin before you can a pedophile to stop messing with little kids. That's how sick it is. Like, that's how far gone they are. And now those are real. Those numbers are relatively very accurate, based on what the DOJ and other logical journals have been publishing. It's not a high percentage of success.
Nita?
I know we're not debating anymore, but I though there is not a high percentage, there is a percentage. So people can stop. I think it just requires lots of therapy. Because, when someone goes to therapy, they first get, like the first go around, they feel like they're rejuvenated, they have a new lease on life, they understand life better, they have all these epiphanies. And then after some time, with no support or motivation to do better, they go back to doing what they know they've been doing for a while. And I think that's when the behaviors keep going. But my final thought is, I do think that childhood does play a role on the reason why rapists are the way that they are or do the things that they do. More so for the rapists who rape children. Even adults, I feel like, excuse me, I don't ever want to say I feel, because I don't want to become, emotional. So I'm going to say I think, because your words have power. So you want to use the right words when you're speaking. I think, shout out to Harrison Family Vlogs. I think that
Shanita's being a jackass.
She is.
I think that children, the adults who have been traumatized by a rapist in their childhood tend to grow up and be rapists themselves because of what they experienced, and they've never received the healing that they should have been receiving or going through any type of work spiritually to get to be a better human being in their flesh. Mm-hmm. And that's my final thought.
You know, I would like to say I'm actually really glad that we actually had John on this panel today, because he brought a completely different element of knowledge on this topic that I was shocked by, that I didn't
Thank
know.
you, John.
Okay. So thank you so much, John, for joining us. My final thoughts are, I do think that your childhood, their childhood, plays a part in their acts. And I kind of think it starts them off. I know that it may not be the main number of how they get started, but a lot of the time I just feel like molesters or rapists kind of start off being raped or molested themselves. I may be wrong. I probably am wrong, but that's just what I feel. I do feel that they need help. And I guess because I'm not in their mental state, so I will never be able to understand why they just can't stop, or why something doesn't click in their head where they see that what they're doing is wrong. I just don't understand it, nor do I agree with their acts. So those are my final thoughts for the show. I just want to thank everybody for being in the chat. Thank you guys so much. To my amazing panel members, thank you guys so much for coming up and joining us. John, you'll have to join us up here again. I had a lot of fun with you today, okay?
All right. Hey, just send me an invite.
I will. Nina's coming back to say something. I knew she would.
Absolutely. John needs to come back more often. We appreciate John and his insight today. He was the perfect panel member. We'd love to have you back, John.
Well, good. Just send me an invite. I'm available. I work from home.
And thank you. We'll give Roddy another chance as well, but his internet was messing up, so he had to go. But next time, hopefully, he'll be able to stick around. Thank you guys so much. We will see you guys on Thursday for Lady Nights Live. And we got a lot to talk about because there's a lot been going on this week. Okay? A lot. I hope everybody has a great evening, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.